Welcome back to the Orion Outdoors Company channel. Drew here, and today we're going to take a look at Benelli's latest technological innovation, the Advanced Impact Barrel. Let's take a look. Benelli's new Advanced Impact technology relates exclusively to the barrel of the shotgun. They changed the barrel technology in two ways. They added some ballistic contours to the inside of the bore, and they also changed the choke tube technology. You'll notice that the choke tubes are significantly different than your traditional Benelli Creo choke. Benelli's Advanced Impact, or AI for short, barrel technology is intended to do two main things. It is intended to give increased velocity with any shot shell that you use, as well as increased energy of any shot shell that you use. And that's in comparison to any barrel out there from any manufacturer that does not feature the contours and the choke technology that we're going to see in the Advanced Impact. Those two things, the enhanced energy and enhanced velocity, are intended to give a longer range of your shot, increased penetration, and then a better shot density. So where your groupings of shot are going to be better at longer distances as compared to the same shot shell shot through a barrel that does not feature the AI. Benelli has conducted independent tests of the AI barrel. And at 30 meters, the test suggests that the user can see 20% added velocity and 36% added energy. The test also claims that they were more uniform in cylindrical shot strings with the AI barrel technology versus the traditional semi-auto barrel technology. One can also only consider the fact that if we're going to get more velocity and we're going to have faster speeds and more energy, that the AI barrel technology is going to give you more range than with a barrel that does not have the AI technology. So later in this video, we'll take a look and kind of test those numbers using a chronograph and see if we experience the similar numbers as what Benelli advertised. After assembling the gun, I noticed that it does handle quite nice. The muzzle is a little bit balanced forward, meaning the weight of the gun is a little bit leaning towards the front of the gun versus the back of the gun. Which is a little bit different than what you normally experience out of a Benelli shotgun. They've rolled it out first in their Ethos Super Sport gun, which has the carbon fiber look synthetic stock. I'm not super preferential to synthetic stocks in general, kind of for two reasons. Number one, they tend to be lighter in weight and they tend to have more recoil than like their wood counterparts. And then also, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but when you're paying over $3,000 for a shotgun, having the synthetic is really not my cup of tea. I like to see a nice oil finished walnut versus a synthetic, especially for like a dedicated clay target gun. I understand the purpose of synthetic for weight reduction and also for like camouflage guns for waterfowl. But for a $3,000 plus dedicated sporting clays type shotgun, I usually like to see a walnut stock versus a synthetic one. So we're going to load up the Benelli Ethos, take some shots out of it, see how we like how it shoots, see if we can notice without doing testing some of those claims and whether they're true or not. And then we'll put it on the chronograph and do some pattern testing and actually see more scientifically what those claims are like and whether they're true or not. So today we're going to shoot some 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch 1290 feet per second 1 ounce 7 1/2s, just some Winchester super targets. Get my eye and ear protection on. Probably just shoot one at a time here to get started. One thing that a couple Benelli sales reps told me is that you can feel the difference on longer targets. So we'll just have to see what that feels like. Starting off with the number 2. Make sure we got the safety off. Pull. Pull. Pretty light on recoil. Not really noticing anything on the recoil end of things. Definitely not too heavy. Not a shoulder bruise or anything like that. Pull. Definitely a little bit barrel heavy. The stock feels really light. I kind of like a a heavier stock and a lighter barrel personally. But if the claims are true and you're going to get better impact, better velocity, maybe it's worth it. Oh. Let's try the number 7. Pull. We've got a light modified choke at the moment. Pull. 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 We're breaking it, kind of chipping it, so I don't know if that's the gun or just my lack of skill. Pull. Pull. So we shot about a box through the Ethos Super Sport AI. Definitely handles nicely. Could I tell that the shells were faster or anything like that? I would probably say no. Did I see significant differences in the brakes than what I would normally expect? Probably not that I could feel. I think that the amount of time between when I pulled the trigger and when the target broke on some of the longer shots could have been a little bit quicker than what would normally happen. That's kind of hard to time. Maybe that's something we could try to test, is what the delay is between pulling the trigger and the target breaking. That's the only thing that I could, with the human eye or human feel could notice with the AI. But I did shoot very nicely, broke a lot of targets, handled nicely, a little bit muzzle heavy, but to each their own. That's kind of probably, I'm guessing that they use these synthetic stock because they know the gun's going to be a little bit heavier, so they want to take out some of the weight. I would probably be more preferential to the wood stock model when it comes out. It will probably be a little better handling for the sporting clays course. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of scientifically test the velocity of the AI barrel in comparison to a shotgun that does not have the AI Benelli new technology. We're going to do that using a chronograph, and we're going to do that at about 3 feet from the muzzle of the shotgun. That is the distance in America where velocities of shot shells are usually measured from in terms of what is labeled on the box itself. Benelli's ballistics suggests that the AI technology increases velocity more at distance than it does up close. The percentage faster that we are supposed to expect at like 3 feet from the muzzle is very, very small compared to what we should expect to see at 30, 40, and 50 yards. Unfortunately, chronographs are kind of difficult to get to measure a shot shell with more than one projectile at distance, because as we have distance, the pattern of the shotgun is going to open up, and it makes it very easy to shoot whatever you're trying to use to measure your speed. We tried some like radar/sonar type chronographs like the Garmin Zero, and we were not able to get good results because they only work best with single projectiles. So we're going to use just our standard light style chronograph, like I said, at 3 feet from the muzzle, and just kind of compare it to a Beretta A400 XL Sporting 12 gauge, also with a 30-inch barrel. We're kind of expecting to see a little bit faster speeds out of the Benelli than the Beretta, so let's take a look. So we just took 5 shots with the Beretta A400. Our average velocity was 1318 feet per second. First shot 1320, 1303, 1317, 1306, 1344. So we got kind of a lot of variation in those numbers, but 1318 feet per second was our average. Now let's try the Benelli. So 5 shots with the Benelli, we had an average velocity of 1323 feet per second over 5 shots. We had one kind of outlier that was significantly slower than the others, which was 1287 feet per second. All the rest were 1323 or faster. And the 1290 is the velocity on the ammunition. So if you were to ask me, there's probably a lot of variation in the ammunition itself. So we saw a little bit of difference between the Beretta and the Benelli. The Benelli was on average about 5 feet per second faster than the Beretta was at 3 feet. Personally, and this is not scientific in any means, I'd say that that difference is probably not significant. The ammunition that we used was just economy loads from Winchester, Super Target, 1290 feet per second, is what's printed on the box. We saw quite a bit of variation with both guns between each of the 5 different shots. So 3 to 4 feet per second difference, in my opinion, could more or less be the shell and the consistency of the shell versus the shotgun itself and the barrel technology. That being said, our short scientific study suggested that the Benelli is at least as fast or maybe a little bit faster than a gun without the AI barrel technology. So earlier in the video I mentioned that I wasn't a huge fan of the synthetic stock, and believe it or not, in the middle of filming this video we got kind of a surprise from Benelli, and that was the advanced impact gun in a walnut stock, which I'm more preferential to. We put it on the scale and it actually weighs exactly the same as our synthetic model, 7 pounds 3 ounces. But the walnut stock, in my opinion, is slightly better balanced, a little better feel, and a lot better looking. So that's the AI Ethos Sport Performance Shop with the silver receiver and the walnut stock. So let's go over some final thoughts on the Benelli AI Ethos Performance Shop gun. In my opinion, the gun balanced very nicely. It had a good feel, very little recoil. It's probably one of my most favorite Benelli shotguns that I've shot so far. That being said, I like the balance, the feel of a gas-operated system a little bit better than a recoil. But this is a very nice handling, feeling, and shooting shotgun. In terms of Benelli's ballistic claims, we weren't really able to necessarily prove or disprove them. Their research suggests that the biggest difference between this gun and what we would see out of like the Beretta A400 would be at distance, so 30 or more yards. That's where they kind of give a huge spread in their claims for velocity. We weren't able to measure at that distance because we don't have a chronograph that would work properly at that distance. We mentioned we tried some different sonar and radar type chronographs, and they were just not working because they only work for single projectiles, and they just weren't recording the shot shell having a spread. In terms of whether you should purchase this gun, I would say if you have a Benelli AI if you have this gun without the AI barrel, I don't really think it would be worthwhile to have your investment to get the exact same gun with AI. If you're looking for like your first Benelli, or just choosing a Benelli for sporting clays use that you don't have already, I would definitely go with the AI versus the non-AI, regardless of whether it's ballistically significant or not, because it has a different balance, a different feel that I think is preferential compared to the traditional Creo model without the AI technology. I would like to take one of these guns out in the field and do some waterfowl testing with it, upland hunting, etc., because their claims for added energy, added velocity really makes the biggest difference when you're hunting versus clay target shooting. A lot of times the energy that is required to take down a clay target is a lot less than that which is required to take down a large flying bird, for example. So this technology would really be most beneficial if you're using it for hunting. I don't know if they have plans to release it amongst like their Benelli Super Black Eagle versions or any of their waterfowl type guns. But all in all, the AI barrel was kind of a pleasure to shoot. We saw a little bit of increased speeds with it versus a gun without the AI technology, but not necessarily really significant changes in speed. And that's kind of what we have for a review and conclusion of the Benelli Ethos Super Sport Performance Shop AI with the advanced impact technology. Thanks for watching this video on the new Benelli AI Advanced Impact Technology. We hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free, and we would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to our channel. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.